Hello world, Krista here with Books and Jams, and I am doing another tag. I'm so proud of myself. I've decided not to worry so much about the ones that I've been tagged in a long time ago, but if I'm tagged in any new ones, to try to do them as soon as I can. Just last week, I believe, or the week before, Hannah from Hannah Hearts Books 6, I believe. I will link her channel down below. She tagged me in the Library 411 tag. Hannah is so much fun. She participated in all of the live shows on Instagram that Katie and I did for middle grade March, and I am so excited to get to know her even better. And she tagged me in this tag, and I love my library, so I am gonna do it. And I'm not gonna wait months and months and months and months and months. Yay me. There are 13 questions to this tag, so let's just jump right in. Question number 1 is Information Desk. What is a book that was helpful for any reason? And for that, I chose 7 by Jen Hatmaker. The subtitle is An Experimental Mutiny Against Excess. This is a nonfiction book that got me thinking a lot about the areas of excess in my life. Jen Hatmaker, the author, I absolutely love. You will have heard me talk about her recently with her newest book of Mess and Moxie. This is one that she wrote a number of years ago, and I read this with a book club that I was a part of in Massachusetts. In this book, she takes 7 months, and each month focuses on an area of excess in her life. So clothes, shopping, waste, food, possessions, media, and stress. And just talks about how those areas of excess have affected her and her family, and the challenges that she gave herself to practice simplicity in those areas, or to work towards having less in those areas. I was very challenged and inspired by this book, and I would say that it was pretty helpful for me. The second question is the return bin. What are 2 books that you read and immediately wanted to DNF or to return? I would say for sure 2 YA books that are super popular. One of them is Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. I think I only made it about 5 to 10 pages into this book when I decided that the writing style just was not for me. And the second one I'm going to say is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. This just, again, was an okay book for me. I just didn't care for it. I decided not to continue with the series. I did not DNF that one, but definitely do not think that it is for me. And I returned Shatter Me to the library right away, and Miss Peregrine's I actually bought from Book Outlet, I believe, and I have recently unhauled that book as well. Number 3 is the holds section. What is your most anticipated release which you cannot wait to get your hands on? Just a couple days ago, I finished reading Caraval by Stephanie Garber, and I cannot wait to get to Legendary, which is the second book in that series, duology. I'm not sure what it's going to be. I did really enjoy Caraval, and I cannot wait to continue with these character stories and Caraval itself, and I just really look forward to more of a fun ride. Number 4 is Community Classes and Study Rooms. A book that you loved that was a school assignment. Before I was an English major, I was an elementary ed major, and one of the classes that we had to take was a children's literature class, and it was by far one of my favorite classes throughout all of college. And in that class, I would say that my favorite book that we read was Tuck Everlasting by Natalie Babbitt. In this story, we have Winnie, who is a young girl who discovers this family who has drank from the well of youth. I forget the name of the well, but they don't die. It's such a fun story, but also deals with some deeper issues like death and life and youth and the purpose of life and acceptance and love and family. All of those things are touched on in this short little middle grade book, and I really loved it. Number 5 is Computers. What is a modern classic that you loved, or one of your favorite sci-fi books? I'm gonna choose one of my favorite sci-fis. Could have chose The Martian or Ender's Game, but my most recent sci-fi that I also just finished a few days ago is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. This was such a fantastic book. So many wonderful characters in this book. In this book, we have a spaceship that's filled with a quirky bunch of characters from many different species, both human and alien, and their job is to punch holes through the universe to make shortcuts, ultimately. It is just a fun book. Number 6 is DVD rentals. What is your most anticipated or favorite in recent history? Book to movie or book to TV adaptation, or a book that felt cinematic, or a book that you wish would be adapted into a TV or movie. So lots of choices here, but I've chosen one that I am really anticipating. I have talked about this recently in a Friday 5 video, but later this year, the Guernsey and Literary Potato Peel Pie Society. I can never say that right. The Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society is going to be adapted, has been adapted. It's coming out, I don't know, maybe April. I need to look that up. It's coming out soon, and I'm so very excited for it. Yay! Number 7 is library bookstore or library book sale. A random book that you picked up without knowing anything about it and really enjoyed, or show your favorite bookish merchandise. I am going to say the book for this. I picked up Winter Garden by Kristen Hanna. This was my second Kristen Hanna book that I owned. I had read The Nightingale previously, but I picked up this one without knowing anything about it at a library book sale, so it was used. I wanted to see if The Nightingale was a fluke because I absolutely loved it. I wanted to see if I would love anything else that Kristen Hanna wrote, and I did. I absolutely loved Winter Garden and have since gone on a craze of anytime I see Kristen Hanna, it's an immediate purchase for me. At library book sales, I think I've gotten almost all of them for super, super cheap. This is another historical fiction about the siege at Leningrad, which was very heartbreaking, as was The Nightingale. I sobbed my eyes out, which I think is a characteristic of Kristen Hanna books from those I know who read her, but I'm down for that. I love books that can make me emote that much. So I didn't know anything about this when I bought it, and I'm very glad that I read it and bought it. And my favorite recent purchase for bookish merch is this lovely sign here. I'm so excited about it. I just found it on sale at Target last week for less than $10, which is so much fun. Here's my question for you. If you know of any short-ish bookish quotes, let me know down below. I'm going to do some research too, but I'm hoping to put some bookish quotes on there for that. So if you have a favorite bookish quote that is on the short side, then let me know. Back to the questions. Number 8 is the teen or youth room. What is your favorite YA, or a favorite book that you read as a kid, or a book that you can't wait to share with your future kids, nieces, or nephews? I love that there's so many options for each of these questions. My most recent favorite read, I guess, isn't technically in the teen or youth room, but it is a book that I can't wait to share with all the kids that I know, and that is The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. This was last year, 2017's Newbery Award winner, and it was also the group book for Middle Grade March last month, and it was such a lovely and fun story in and of itself, but it also dealt with a lot of deeper issues, which is a trait in middle grade and YA that I really, really love. So this one deals with hope and sorrow and forgiveness, but it also is encased in this magical story with witches and swamp monsters and magic. So it was such a lovely read. I can't recommend it enough, and I will be telling every child I know about this book. Number 9 is Museum Tickets, a book that made you feel a bit more cultured upon completing it. And for that, I'm going to talk about one I forgot was on my shelves. Last time I did a tag, I said that I don't have any books that are set in Africa, but I do. This is Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. I read this many, many years ago. The reason I chose this book to answer this question is that as a Christian, missionary work is something that I've been around all my life. I've heard missionaries speak, or I know people who do missionary work in different countries. This book is about Western missionaries coming to this village in Africa. I forget what country. It's been so long. Shame. Anyways, Western missionaries come to this small village, and the effect that has as they try to westernize these people and kind of rob them of their culture in a way. There are many benefits, I believe, to missionary work. However, I think that we haven't always gotten it right. And this book kind of opened my eyes to that and made me think a lot. And so I definitely feel like it's one that helped me to feel a little bit more cultured. Not because it's hard to read or because it's a classic. It expanded my mind, not necessarily in a literary sense, but in my faith and just the way I think about missionary works. So I feel like this book is a good answer for that question. Number 10 is Overdrive and Hoopla, which I love, 2 apps that help with getting free audiobooks because this girl cannot afford Audible. So this question is an audiobook that you loved, and I wanted to say Harry Potter because Jim Dale's narration of Harry Potter is fantastic. If you ever want to read Harry Potter or reread it and you haven't listened to the audiobooks, I would 100% recommend Jim Dale's narration of that book, of that series. But I wanted to say something different, and so I am choosing An Ember in the Ashes and A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. I do own a copy of this now, but I originally listened to both of these books on audiobook, and the narrators are Fiona Hardingham and Steve West, and then for Torch Against the Night, Catherine McEwen also joins the cast. I love when there are multiple narrators. First of all, the different voices is so much fun, especially when there are two perspectives in the book and one is male and one is female. It's nice to kind of hear that reflected in the narration. But I was so invested in these stories. I was on the edge of my seat. I remember at one point something shocked me so much, and I ran into my friend's house and I just couldn't even contain. I had to tell her everything that I had just heard because it was so good. Yeah, I really, really, really loved the audiobooks for these two books and would highly recommend them if you haven't listened to them. Number 11 is Request a Purchase, a lesser known book that you want more people to know about and read. I did actually request two books. Most recently, I requested my library to get Reading People by Anne Bogle, and I was able to borrow that book because the library followed my suggestion and bought the book, which was a lot of fun. As far as an underrated book or a book that I don't hear a lot about, I'm going to use an author, and for that, it's Hazel Gaynor. I would not have known about Hazel Gaynor except that Maria from Read, Create, Repeat Homeschool gave me one of her books for my BookTuber Recommends project that I did last year in 2017, and I read The Girl Who Came Home. Hazel Gaynor writes historical fiction, and often there's dual timelines, which I really enjoy. Her most recent book I've heard a little bit about, called The Cottingley Secret, so I think she's getting a little bit more buzz now. But if you are interested in historical fiction at all, I feel like Hazel Gaynor is somebody that you should look into if you haven't already. Number 12 is The Librarians, a character who loves helping others. I think I'm gonna go back to The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet because so many of these characters love helping other people. Dr. Chef is the chef and the medic on their ship, and he has so many meaningful conversations with people and has such a caring heart. Kizzy is one of the technicians, and she's crazy and super quirky, but also quick to help out, whether it's comforting a friend who just lost somebody, or whether it's jumping down into the walls of the ship to undo some mines, or whether it's just lightening up a situation. She's quick to help. Rosemary is the newest member of this crew, and she helps because she knows different languages and is able to diffuse a situation because of that skill. She helps organize and archive all of their paperwork on the ship. So many of these characters help the other characters in so many different ways. You could almost pick any of the characters on this ship and they are super helpful. I guess that's just the culture that they've developed as a team on the ship. So I would say pretty much any of the characters from this book. Number 13 is the final question, and it is Sanctuary, which the library is a sanctuary for many of us. It is a book that is your safety net, is like home to you, and helped you through a tough time. For this, I am saying my Bible. This is a book that I try to read every day, even if it's just a little bit. It is a book that has most definitely helped me through some tough times and is like home to me. In particular, this is one of my newer Bibles, but I should show you. I'm gonna go get it. Hold on. Sorry if I moved a little bit. I wanted to go and get my little blue Bible, I call it, which needs to be re-duct taped. It's already been duct taped once, and I need to do it again because it is the one I've had the longest, and it has all kinds of notes in it and things underlined and written in the margins. When I'm trying to remember a verse, this is the Bible I turn to because I can pretty much imagine on the page where it is, because I've used this particular copy of my Bible for so long that it is definitely like home to me and a safety net and a help in troubled times. I'm going to be taking a trip to Nicaragua in September, and this is definitely the Bible I want to bring with me, so I need to give it a new facelift. That is all the questions for the Library 411 tag. I have 3 people that I'd like to tag for this. 2 of them have the word library right in their channel name. So Jenna from Jen the Librarian and Katie from Girl About Library. I tag both of you girls to do this. And also Derby from Derby Lane, because I remember talking to Derby before she had ever been to a library book sale, and now she goes all the time. And I also remember when Derby first got her library card and how excited I was for her. So Derby is a new library lover, and so I want to tag her to do this one as well. So ladies, I hope that you do this tag, but also I want to tag you. If you have been to the library within the last week, I would love for you to do this tag. If you guys do this tag, please let me know down below so I can go and check it out on your channels. And also down below, I would love to hear what answer. Let's see which one you should answer. Holds. Let's answer holds. Your most anticipated release, which you cannot wait to get your hands on. Go ahead and answer which is your most anticipated release down in the comments below. And anything else that you'd like to chat about, you know I love to chat with you down in the comments. If you like this video, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up and help out my channel, and also subscribe if you haven't already. If you've gotten this far and you're not a subscriber, I would love to have you subscribe. I love getting to know you guys, and thank you so much for watching my videos and supporting my channel and being my friends. I love it so much. I'll be talking to you in another video very soon. Bye!